Picture this for a second. You're sitting at a restaurant, salt on the rim of the glass, ice clinking around. Someone drops a fresh lime into your margarita and you don't think twice about it. Why would you? It's just a lime. But hidden behind that tiny green fruit is a story most people have never heard. A story involving extortion, burned farms, hijacked trucks, and some of the most violent drug cartels in Mexico. The same organizations known for trafficking drugs are now deeply involved in the lime business. And once you see how it works, it's hard to look at your drink the same way again. This is the deadly truth behind your margarita. To understand how this happened, you first need to understand how important limes really are. Mexico has been growing limes for hundreds of years, especially in the states of Michoacan, Colima, and Veracruz. The climate there is almost perfect for citrus farming. But growing limes is still hard work. The trees need very specific tropical weather, plenty of water, and every single lime has to be picked by hand. According to the USDA, it normally costs farmers between $4 and $6 to produce one 40-pound box of limes. And the scale of this business is massive. Mexico grows over 2.5 million metric tons of limes every year and supplies 95% of all the limes eaten in the United States. One truck filled with limes can be worth between $40,000 and $60,000. So even before the cartels got involved, this was already a very valuable industry. But it was also vulnerable. And then everything changed. Back in the early 2010s, demand for limes exploded. Mexican food became more popular across the United States. Craft cocktails took off. Margarita culture became huge. Suddenly, limes were everywhere. Bars needed them. Restaurants needed them. Grocery stores needed millions more every year. U.S. lime consumption jumped from 1.2 billion pounds per year in 2000 to over 1.8 billion pounds per year by 2022. Then came the perfect storm. In 2014, citrus greening disease spread through farms. Bad weather damaged harvests, and cartel violence made transportation dangerous. The supply dropped hard. Prices went crazy. Wholesale lime prices shot up from just $5 per box to somewhere between $35 and $100 per box. That's an increase of more than 600%. And whenever a product suddenly becomes scarce, expensive, and easy to control, criminal groups start paying attention. That was the moment the cartels moved in. This is where the story turns darker. Groups like the Jalisco New Generation Cartel, known as CJNG, along with another organization called Los Viagras, began taking control of the lime trade. But they didn't buy farms or build businesses. They used fear instead. Cartels created an extortion system known as El Piso. Farmers were forced to pay between $1,000 and $3,000 per hectare every year just to keep operating. On top of that, many had to hand over 50 cents to $2 for every single box of limes they harvested. And refusing wasn't really an option. If farmers didn't pay, orchards were burned down. Trucks disappeared. Workers were threatened. Some people were kidnapped or killed. Even trucks carrying limes toward the U.S. border could be stopped and taxed another $500 to $1,000 just to pass safely. At some point, the cartels realized they didn't even need the farmers anymore. They started stealing entire harvests and selling the limes themselves through legal exporters. Between 2013 and 2022, more than 20 farmers and lime association leaders were murdered after standing up to these groups. One case shocked the entire country in 2014. Cartel members burned 40 acres of lime orchards after farmers refused to pay protection money. And the terrifying part is that these aren't rumors or internet conspiracy stories. Reuters and Mexican authorities have documented these cases for years. So now you might be wondering something obvious. If this is happening so openly, why hasn't anyone stopped it? Because too many people depend on the system continuing exactly as it is. The lime export business brings in more than $1.2 billion every year. That money supports exporters, distributors, restaurants, supermarkets, and entire local economies. A serious crackdown could interrupt supply overnight. Prices would jump even higher, stores could run short, restaurants would struggle to keep up. So instead, the system keeps moving. Restaurants raise menu prices a little, grocery stores charge more. Customers pay extra without asking many questions. The limes keep crossing the border, the cartels keep collecting money, and the farmers stay trapped in the middle of it all. Imagine risking your life just to harvest fruit from your own land. That's the reality for many lime farmers in parts of Mexico today. So what can regular people actually do with all this information? For starters, pay attention when lime prices suddenly spike to $5 or $6 a pound during shortages. Buying at those inflated prices keeps the cycle profitable. You can also look for limes imported from countries like Brazil or Peru when Mexican supplies become unstable, and support restaurants or businesses that are transparent about where their ingredients come from. Because the uncomfortable truth is this: as long as global demand stays high and billions of dollars keep flowing through the lime trade, criminal groups will keep trying to control part of it. And most people drinking margaritas will never realize there's a violent hidden economy sitting right there on the rim of the glass. So now I want to ask you something. Before this video, did you have any idea organized crime had this much influence over something as ordinary as limes? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories about the hidden economics behind everyday products we all use without thinking twice about them, subscribe and stick around.